Hello, Lisa. Keep me anonymous at all costs. I've grown into a worse person, and even though I've not been caught, my deeds still haunt me. I completed SHS in 2017. There was no money at home, so I couldn't further my education. Yes, my results are good, but can't afford to get me a scholarship. But yes, so it can get me into any school I want. But my parents don't have money. Okay, so after completing school, I worked at one fuel station in Accra and I was taking 500 cedis a month. It was quite okay for me until my father got ill. My father wasn't working because he has always been having issues with his health. My mother, on the other hand, sells fruit by the roadside. I was taking more income than her, so I told her to use the money she gets for food. So I used mine for my father's medical bills. This went on for 2.5 years, and my father's condition was getting worse each and every day. My money, in addition to my mother's money, wasn't enough to cater for my father. This forced my mother to sell some of her valuable items. It was still not enough. That period in my life was really an eyesore. I tried to change my job and I joined some construction company who needs laborers. They were paying 100 cedis a day, so it was cool. Not until I started getting body pains after 2 weeks, and all the money I made was used to cater for my father's bills. My mother had to borrow money from a colleague so I can buy medicine. The situation forced me to change the job again. Lisa, I was so frustrated and confused that time, and my father's condition was still getting worse. I had a friend who told me somewhere in Kumasi I can get a job at one Galamsey site and that they pay very well. I took money from my mom and I traveled to Kumasi. Luckily enough, I got hired and they were paying 1,000 cedis per week. It was very tiresome, but I had to cope with it. There, I met a friend who introduced me to Tramadol. He explained to me why I need to be taking Tramadol. I didn't like the idea at first, but when I started taking it, I understood why he couldn't stop taking. The drug doesn't make you feel tired. I was always energetic and I never got tired. I got addicted to the extent that I was taking more dosage than him. Well, I was able to send money to my parents and things were a little bit okay that time. I was still on the tramadol and I started seeing the negative impact on my health. I tried to quit, but it wasn't easy. I had already spent 2 months in Kumasi, and in the first week of my third month, my father died. I had no option than to go back home. I seek permission and I was granted. The whole funeral took about 2 months, and when I got back to Kumasi, the Galamsey job had already collapsed. My mother was also counting on me to send her some money. I was going mad because I was also running out of money. And I was also dealing with my addiction. I met that my friend who introduced me to the tramadol, and he was doing well for himself. He took me to his apartment and was a bit surprised because I know he is not working. I asked him what he was doing for a living, but he was always beating around the bush. He accommodated me for a month and was even supporting me financially. I sent some of the money he gave me to my mother. One day, I sat him down to please tell me what he was doing that was fetching him that amount of money. I told him even if he doesn't want to tell me, he should hire me and that I will do anything. He told me I don't have that heart to do the job, and once I start I can't stop. Foolishly enough, I didn't think through and I chuckled it away. I told him I was ready for anything as long as money is involved. He said okay and told me to prepare for the next day. He woke me up at 2 a.m. the next day and told me to follow him. We got into his car and he gave me a safety working gear to put on. He added gloves and a ski mask. He told me to do what he says and follow along. We stopped by a bush and he parked the car inside the bushes. We then went like 30 minutes away from the car and he told me to squat. He gave me a very sharp machete. My heart started beating, but I was still ready for anything. In an hour time, we saw one guy passing by. My friend hit him with a heavy stick and the guy went unconscious. We dragged the body inside the bushes and he told me to start chopping the body. I was shaking and I thought he was joking till he chopped the guy's hand off. He yelled at me that we don't have time and I should hurry. I was still standing and he held my hands with the machete to chop the guy's other hand. He explained to me we were going to sell the parts and that if I don't hurry we might get caught. I had no option than to start chopping the body. I was literally crying and after everything we packed the parts in a sack, got into the car and drove off. We kept the parts in a refrigerator in one of the rooms in the house. I couldn't eat the whole day and I was just thinking of what I had done. 3 days later, some men came inside and my friend took them to the room where we kept the chopped body. After they left, 1 hour later, my friend called me to his room. He opened the bag full of money and handed it over to me. He told me that was my share and that I should snap out that mood I was in. I took the money, but it was after 2 weeks I came back to my normal self. We went for more operations and I have benefited from it a lot. I've even bought a house for my mom and I'm doing very well for myself. I am in my own mansion now and I have a lot of luxury cars. But on top of all these things, I feel like my days are numbered and I really want to stop. I hardly sleep at night and I keep getting flashbacks of the horrible things I'm doing. I thought with all this money I have gained, I will be happy like my friend. But each and every day, my own thoughts keeps judging me. I'm dying inside. I need help.